Hi and welcome to this week's Three Legs, Four Wheels F1 podcast. It's Paul here with
Dan,
Chris,
and Lee.
Back in the right order this week.
Yes,
Well, hey.
finally.
Yeah, it only took 20 minutes of rehearsal to actually get that right.
Was it only 20?
It just seemed longer at the time. Not that we're padding or anything because there's not a great deal going on, but we're padding because there's not a great deal going on.
But we've got stuff to talk about. It's just not
Just not news.
Not Formula One.
well, it is Formula One and it is kind of racing, but it's not the kind of news you want to be hearing. There's no race previews.
No.
There's no race there's not really any confirmed news. I mean, first off,
We'll start off this Formula One podcast where we talk about Formula One with something about the IMSA Daytona 24-hour sports car.
we can start with that if you want.
Well,
IMSA sounds like a disease is sponsoring it this year.
I'm afraid it's IMSA.
it'll have to come off.
Is it fatal? No, you just got to stop eating dairy.
You'll have to wait 3 weeks.
But they have been practicing qualifying.
Well, they've been practicing and then doing a mock qualifying, haven't they? There's
Is that like your mock GCSEs?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, they make sure that the drivers can acclimatise to driving under the lights.
Mm-hmm.
They do like an evening session, and they do today I think they ran mock qualifying, which sprung a surprise fastest driver. Former Sauber driver Felipe Nasr was fastest.
Quicker than Alonso.
Yeah, Alonso was 12th, I believe. Like a good nearly 2 seconds down on Felipe Nasr.
Felipe, you are quicker than Fernando.
No.
We've done that one, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wrong, NASA, not Massa.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Phil. Phil Mazza. Or Fred.
Fred, that's what he was called.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Fred.
will point out, once again, Fernando Alonso, fabulous helmet.
Oh yeah. He's upped his helmet game again, hasn't
Yep.
he, for a specific event. I kind of expected him to go very similar to the Indy one. Which
But
he used
it
last
is
year.
very similar.
Well. It
It's
is,
white.
isn't it?
It's white instead of black, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but
With
the
the
stripes are slightly different as well.
Are they different?
Yeah,
I
they
thought
are.
the stripes might be the same.
No, they are.
I just
slightly
thought he
different.
cleaned his helmet a little.
No, it is slightly different. But it looks
You're
good.
walking that tightrope again, aren't you?
Yeah, the United Autosports team featuring I want to say Phil Hardman. Is that his name?
Lando, Nando and the other.
Yeah. Lando, Nando, and Phil.
And Rando.
Lando, Nando, and Phil actually sounds like something you see on Nickelodeon.
Or a 1940s like comedy sort of thing, trio.
Yeah.
The three silly twerps.
Yeah.
Being one twerp short. Again.
So yeah, there are some Formula One drivers, some ex-Formula One drivers taking part in Daytona, which is why we're paying a little bit of attention to it.
I didn't even know they did a Daytona 24 hours, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yes, they do most. I think it's every January.
But it seems like an event that's famous now because Fernando Alonso decided to do it this year.
No, I think that's part of the Indy effect from Alonso's
Yeah.
Indy run last year, isn't it? It's sort of taken the fact that he's entered it has pulled the people who pulled in to watch Indy over to
I
Daytona.
mean,
now.
I enjoyed watching Indy. Don't
mean,
get me wrong, and I enjoy watching the Le Mans 24 hours for the drop in, drop out. I do of it. I can't be like Paul, like machine over there.
block the whole lot.
Except for that bit where I had to sleep.
Um,
Crawling home at 3 o'clock the morning of Le Mans starting.
it's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Not the best move I ever made. So when we do the live blog for the 24 hours of Daytona, I'm having a quiet night the night before.
Yeah.
That's the day after my birthday, that.
Oh, crap.
But like a 24-hour oval race sounds pretty fucking dull.
It would do if it was an oval,
Oh, is it not?
but it's not.
Well, shows how much I know about it.
Because I'll show you the track layout.
Paul, you're destroying the world.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Sorry about that, listeners.
Yeah, sorry about thumping into things and grabbing my... Oh, God, there goes my microphone. Right, I'm back to normal now.
God, we're so
So
polished.
professional.
Oh, it's-
So professional.
Oh, it is. But yeah, it's not an oval race. They do turn in different directions.
Well, that's cool. I thought it might be just whizzy.
24-hour oval count how many laps they do.
Yeah, no, there's they call it the road course. There's two 2.5 sizable oval corners, and then
kind of like the former Indianapolis.
I was just going to say it.
and
looks
then
like
then
that.
it goes onto the road circuit, which actually, if you look at it, it looks like a whale's tail.
It does a bit, yeah.
That's the only way to describe it. So there's left and right turns in there.
Right.
So yeah, it's not.
But they are using a majority of the traditional Daytona circuit.
Yes.
They should do that for Formula One. It would be really interesting to see how Formula One tyres would handle the oval section.
Badly.
Yes, very much so.
I reckon you'd get
Me?
six finishers.
Six finishes.
Yeah.
Six starters, perhaps?
Probably the same number of starters, yeah.
Maybe.
0% attrition rate
Absolutely.
if you don't count the parade lap.
Imagine if it was like the likes of Haas. Who else could we have?
Sauber.
Haas, Sauber, and the Ferraris. That were the cars running in it, and Chase Carey's like turning around to the Ferraris like, listen, lads.
Well, what you've done there is chosen. Well, what we've done together is chosen the 3 Ferrari teams.
Yeah, I'm just looking down the entry list for this year. Montoya's taking part.
Yeah, Lance Stroller's in there as well,
Lance
isn't
Stroll is in a team.
Yeah.
Obviously, Felipe Nasser, he is driving a Cadillac.
he? Okay. Is it pink? It isn't. It's red.
No, it's going to be red.
Boys, a time bomb.
Let's have a look. What else have we got? Quite a few names I recognise from IndyCars. Ryan Hunter-Reay in there, Simon Pagenaud, Helio Castroneves.
Oh yeah.
People that we've come across for IndyCar stuff. And
Castroneves
Phil
is it?
Hansen's the other one.
Phil Hansen.
Phil Hansen.
Not Hardman.
No.
From the band?
Yes.
So it's Lando, Nando, and Hando.
Sounds about right.
So who's Hansen then? What's he done?
No idea, because he doesn't have a Wikipedia page, but he drives for United Autosports, and Paul di Resta is in the other United Autosports car,
Right, okay.
along with Bruno Senna.
Oh right. Okay. Cool.
So that's basically Team Sky Pundit.
It is. Yeah. Team. Yeah. Unfortunately, Bruno Senna might not be able to make the race, and Craig Slater will step in.
Well, let's hope
that was my
Ralph
turn.
Schumacher's it.
Lee, you reorganised the blogging room to make it easier.
Yeah.
Everyone's thumping their microphones. Now you've reorganised the room.
It's either that or war's kicked off next door.
No, that was me.
To be fair, we're at the same. We've got the same amount of room.
Yeah.
The only one that's got less room is me.
That's because you set the table with the mixing desk and the monitor up.
No,
wrong.
I'll argue with it.
Back to the pod.
I fucking threw myself on my own sword. Carry on.
Careful. That sounds quite hurt.
Stick an ice pack down your trousers.
You've got to try and bend it while it's set. Well, it doesn't matter.
No, carry on.
No, we will carry on. So yeah, the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona will be on January 27th to the 28th. That is a Saturday night going into Sunday, or Saturday afternoon if you're in the US.
Yeah.
Saturday night to Sunday night for us. God, that's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. And we are going to attempt to live blog this one.
With a lot of Formula One drivers in it. Now, if you're listening and you're not particularly interested in Daytona, maybe give it a watch this time round. There's some names you might recognise.
Yes.
Don't have a clue what TV channels that it's on. I think Fox are covering it in the US, and that's all I could find so far.
Well, keep an eye
We'll
out.
try and let you know in next week's pod.
Yeah, hopefully there will be something about that.
Would be Eurosport. Eurosport do a lot
Quite
of
possibly.
WEC.
Could be
don't
Eurosport,
they?
could be Motorsport TV. Might have to find a slightly dodgy internet feed.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
I'm breaking the microphone again. It collapsed. It's my microphone's turn to collapse. Yours did it all the way through the Patreon show.
It did, to be fair.
Mine's doing it all the way through this. God knows when those two are going to collapse.
Anytime now. Anyway,
Moving swiftly on, Ferrari.
Yeah, they've done something radical and something not radical. Something radical is that they have completely changed their badge for their Formula One team.
From a rectangle to just the shield.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. What they've done is gone back to the old Ferrari design before they had the Scuderia Ferrari plate. It's literally just the badge you get on Ferrari cars. That's
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Just the prancing horse.
The prancing horse with the SF.
What
written underneath
about the little Italian flag above? Is that still there?
Yeah, yellow shield for the colour of Modena,
Yeah.
with the prancing horse on it, with the 3-stripe Italian flag over the top.
And they, you know how it was in the rectangle before with Scuderia Ferrari
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the red flash.
They've just gone. That's just gone.
All right.
So yeah, they've just decided to badge it like a road car.
Can I just say, wow, that's interesting.
I agree
Isn't
with
it?
Dan.
Isn't it?
Agree with Dan.
But this is supposed to be some sort of radical change that Ferrari have come up with. And another one, Red Bull have changed their logo by putting Aston Martin at the top of it.
That's fair enough. They're now title sponsors.
Yeah, but it's the same colour and everything. It's not like they've not changed it to British Racing Green or anything. It's just-
It would be nice if they mix the colour of the
It
Red
would
Bull
be.
up next year.
yeah, it would.
It's it's a bit overdue.
I don't know, when you pour a can, it's that murky brown colour. It's a bit...
Anyway, the other thing that Ferrari related, Dave Greenwood, Kimi Raikkonen's race engineer. He's not going to be Kimi Raikkonen's race engineer in 2018.
He's gone to Manor, hasn't he?
Yeah, but Manor WEC teams the
Because
F1.
that's the
F1
that's
team's
the
not.
main part of the Manor team now.
Yeah, but it's a
he
different
came
Manor.
from Marussia
Originally.
originally. 3 years ago, he actually moved from... He was chief engineer at Marussia.
Yeah.
Came from Marussia with love.
Oh,
Like it.
and yeah. So
To the man with the golden chalk ice.
Dad jokes all day long.
so Kimi will be telling somebody else to shut up next season.
Well, do you think it was just something lost in translation? He hasn't gone to Manor at all. He's just gone to find somebody with manners.
I worry actually for Kimi Raikkonen with this, because obviously Dave Greenwood and Kimi Raikkonen built up a bit of a rapport over the last few years. He understands sort of how Kimi works, and I've got a horrible feeling that Marchioni or somebody in the higher ranks of Ferrari is going to put somebody.
Italian.
Yeah, Italian or somebody in who's not going to have worked closely with Kimi in the past or closely enough that they're going to completely understand. I wouldn't mind betting if they demoted somebody to that position rather than promoted somebody from Kimi's team to replace
Well,
Dave
there's talk that it could actually be Jock Clear taking on race day responsibilities as well as being head of race activities.
Greenwood. That wouldn't be so bad because Jock Clear was race engineer at Mercedes for a long time.
And before that,
McLaren, wasn't he?
And
he was Jacques Villeneuve's at Williams.
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't he at McLaren for a stint?
I think Villeneuve had him at Williams and took him to BAR,
Right, okay.
and then after that, I'm not entirely sure, but
Because I was just wondering if he did do a stint at McLaren, whether he might have already worked with Kimi.
that is a possibility. I'll have to read Mark Priestley's book again because there's a lot of Kimi stuff in there. So if he gets a mention in that,
Yeah, it's
that would work well if it was Jock Clear, but I'm worried that Ferrari will put somebody in that doesn't work well with Kimi, and Kimi will end up having an underperforming year and he'll just be out. Not necessarily because it's time for him to go, and it might well be time for him to go, but he's out because there's been a huge misunderstanding in the team, and what could have been a great year for Kimi turns out to not be
yeah.
because of a working relationship.
yeah. I mean, if in all seriousness, if they get someone in who won't leave him alone,
Like Sergio Marchioni.
yeah, I can't see Marchioni on the radio at Kimi.
That'd be hilarious, though,
It
right?
would be, yeah.
But if they get someone in that doesn't understand the way that Kimi appears to work during a race,
Yeah.
Smedley would have been a good guy for Kimi, I think.
do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he talks too much.
No, I think Kimi's the type of guy that seems to want an arm round him. Do you know what I mean? And
In which case, Jock Clear would be the perfect
yeah,
fit for him, really.
because whenever Kimi seems to underperform, it seems to be when he feels unstable within the team,
Yeah.
which is why it's 90% of his Ferrari career.
But every time he's signed for the following year, he starts performing
It's because the best person to replace Kimi Räikkönen is Kimi Räikkönen.
for the last 4 years.
We're gonna have to get that on a T-shirt at some point. If anyone's listening and wants to make a T-shirt,
Crack on.
yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Renault.
We will sue your ass.
Renault up next on here. Jolyon Palmer deserves a world-class seat, but just not with their F1 team.
Yeah. Kind of a non-news story, but also worth mentioning because let's be honest, we and everybody else were a little bit hard on Jolyon Palmer.
To be fair, Renault, I think you might be taking this a bit wrong, because Renault have already turned around and said that they wanted to help Jolyon stay in Formula One.
Now Cyril Abiteboul is saying that they are going to help him, or try and help him stay with Renault just outside Formula One.
Yeah, but like they said that they were going to try and use their influence to help him stay in Formula One. That obviously hasn't happened. But I don't think there's anything but praise in that tweet. Do you know what I mean? There's no underlying nah.
Nothing snide there.
No.
Oh no, it's serious. I believe they want to help Jolyon get into a seat where he can perform to the best of his abilities. But as Paul just said, I'm pretty sure that's going to be far, far away from Formula One.
I do struggle to think of any other Formula One driver that spent 2 years? 2 years and he was in World 4, wasn't he?
2 years and one as a Friday driver.
Yeah. But we'll say 2 competing years. I can't remember a driver which had 2 full seasons in Formula One and had more bad luck and less of a chance than Jolyon. It seemed
he had all of the bad luck. He had Webber's luck at Renault.
Yeah, it seemed like from his first race with Renault, we were constantly talking about when he'd be sacked.
Not from his first race.
Maybe from his first engine failure.
I think I remember Monaco in his first year saying he made rookie mistakes there, and he's a rookie, but it was obvious stuff. He put his foot down on the white line in the rain.
But he'd raced there before, so he should have known what to do, or what not to do in the case of gunning it on a zebra crossing.
So he had awful luck.
That could have been a drivability thing though with the Renault engine.
Could have been, but any time he had a chance to put in a good performance, he didn't.
Yeah.
He did once after he was already fired. Basically.
That's true. Yeah.
In Singapore when he finished 6th, I think it was, wasn't it?
Did he crash? Did something? He broke down in 7th as well, didn't he? At one point.
Possibly.
But still, he never looked like a race winner or a world champion, which is obviously Renault want to be seen like that.
And you wouldn't want an unlucky driver driving for you.
No. Unlucky drivers do exist. Unlucky people exist.
Yeah.
You know, there are people who you can walk down the street and 99% of the time, you won't get hit by the one branch that falls off the tree.
There is a reason Nick Heidfeld has his own world of disappointment.
The Nick Heidfeld stat that I said on the last podcast, by the way, I was wrong. I had to double check it because it was nagging me after the last podcast.
Nobody messaged us, so you just don't fess up.
No, well, I'm going to fess up because it was wrong, and people listening will have been, oi, that's wrong. He has the most amount of podiums without a win in both Formula E and Formula One.
Disappointing.
Yes.
And he has a large collection of purple teddy bears.
Probably.
Just fake news is cool now.
Nothing. Faux news. Faux and friends.
We have nothing from Nick Heidfeld to deny that he has a collection of.
Nope.
Therefore,
and we're going to be recording for 2 hours.
We
so
can
if he doesn't
only
get
assume.
in touch with us,
I'm going to tweet him.
If he gets back before the end of the show, we will.
We'll issue a correction and a retraction.
Yeah, we'll also be bloody surprised.
We're on Heidfeld watch, but the problem is that our listeners who follow me on Twitter are going to think they already know the answer to this.
Now I like the idea of him sat in a massive room with wearing nothing but a pair of purple socks with purple teddy bears just surrounding him, sat in the middle of the floor with his phone going, but how do they know?
got a message asking if I've got a huge collection of purple teddies. And he'll look round at all his purple teddies and
You're mauve!
No. I'm such a practical joker.
Something that we missed out last week. F1 team budgets.
Yes,
which I've got the figures in front of me because he didn't send them.
This was a good talking point that Lee brought up.
Are you going to look for them?
I'm going to look for them now.
Lee brought this up last week.
I think they were.
We forgot to talk about it.
Was it F1 Fanatic who'd broken them down, or Autosport?
Autosport. It was arguably like the best thing we had to talk about last week as well. Everybody's googling.
Yep, I'm trying to find. I'm
tweeting Nick Heidfeld right now, but the breakdown basically. We always hear, don't we, a lot of how Ferrari get the lion's share of the money because of historic championships, and Ferrari get preferential treatment because they get all of the money.
I've often noticed,
but this breakdown shows that they don't get
all of it.
No, they get a majority.
They get the most of it.
They get, if you broke it down into who gets the most, Ferrari get the most.
Yeah,
but there are two teams that aren't in the grand scale of things.
No, and there might be a reason why Mercedes are always pretty fucking quiet about it as well.
Yeah, they're not that far behind.
No.
So them leaving, all these quit threats that we keep hearing, Ferrari, we're going to quit Formula One if it doesn't go away. Mercedes, well, if we stop winning, we might quit as well.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
Look at how much they're getting in these breakdowns. Have you got it yet, Paul?
No, I can't find it.
Oh, come on. Again with the professionalism. But I think it worked out with something like Ferrari getting 180 million. I'm reading this off the top of my head. Ferrari getting about 180 million, and Mercedes getting about 160 something.
171, according to the figures that I've got.
So 9 million.
Only 9 million difference.
9 million difference, and
Red Bull 10 million behind them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not. All right, okay, it's £9 million. We could all do an awful lot with £9 million, but in the big financial world of Formula One, £9 or $10 million or $19 million dollars. $19 million, not a huge amount of money really. It's a sponsorship deal away. That's it. And an Aston Martin title sponsorship deal might be enough to give Red Bull a level pegging with Ferrari.
Ferrari 180 million.
Oh, I got it right.
Mercedes 171 million.
Yeah.
Red Bull 161 million. McLaren 97 million.
Now that's where the big gap is.
Yeah,
that's like nearly 70 million.
Yeah, but considering that they're above Williams, who gets 79 million, Force India, who gets 72. Toro Rosso with 59, when you consider where McLaren were in the World Championship.
And where Force India were.
Yeah. And Williams.
Yeah.
It's strange. I'm going to cough. I apologise.
The one time when we do want him to move away from the microphone. What's telling is Haas with only 19 million. They have sunk a lot of their own money into that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's they're only 2 years in, so they don't get any of the historic bonuses, and they finished 8th in both their years in Formula One. So they've got time to build that level of prestige and longevity in the sport. If that's really truly their long-term goal. To build up what could be a substantial amount in years to come. But when they're only 2 years in, £19 million in comparison to the 90% more that Ferrari are getting.
This is the estimate of what they spent in 2017, isn't it?
No, this is the estimate of the prize and entry money that's been distributed to them.
Right.
Not what they spent.
That's
what they were given by FOM.
Prize money for 2016. It is
right.
Yeah, that's what was released.
That was given to them in 2017.
Yeah,
and I believe doesn't a certain percentage of it get released in 2018 as well.
I've no idea.
No one's got a clue how FOM distribute the finances.
Right.
But I mean, it's obvious that Haas are sinking their own company money or what they're earning in NASCAR into the Formula One team. So I mean, don't forget, Haas are a very successful, racing team and engineering firm.
Absolutely, they have they've an awful lot of success in US motorsports.
Yeah,
with partnerships and as well as standing on their own. So that they do know what they're doing, and I foolishly. At the time when Haas entered Formula One, said that they would be lucky to score points in their first couple of seasons. It would probably take them a little while to get off the ground running.
Then they scored points in the first race.
Yes, they did, which much humble pie was eaten. that first weekend of 2016?
No, it was first thing in the morning we were watching the Australian Grand Prix. It wasn't humble pie, it was a bacon sandwich.
It was actually, you're quite right.
I don't.
It was a humble bacon sandwich.
It wasn't so much your fault though for thinking that, or any of our faults for thinking it. It's Manor and Marusha's and Caterham's fault.
And BAR.
Yeah.
And HRT. Whatever. Was it HRT, Hispanic Racing Team?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not hormone replacement therapy.
And Lola.
Yeah, the Pacific.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
Name.
Any new team that's come into F1.
And then vanished again quite soon afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was the most successful debut that I can remember
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
F1. Obviously, you can't really count Brawn, because that was just a continuation of...
Yeah, that was a team that existed already.
Yeah, it just had a new name on it.
And a different engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no...
Goddamn sexy driver.
Rubens
And Jensen
I was
Button.
going to say Rubens
Barrichello. Niles Crane.
Niles Crane.
Does anybody else? I've just realised, because whenever you see Rubens Barrichello, the first vision you get in your head is that grin. I've just realised, do you remember the film Critters?
Vaguely.
He either looks like a critter or he looks like one of the Goombas in the Super Mario movie.
These are two films that I've never seen sober, so you kind of...
Right, okay.
You're kind of losing me here.
One person out there gets me, and that's who it's for.
If you are that person, please tweet.
A mental health professional, urgently.
With hashtag I get shunt. Right, Force India. They are still called Force India this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a sponsorship deal in the pipeline, apparently. Which...
If it's a water pipeline, it'll be made by BWT.
Ah, very good. There's a title sponsorship deal in the pipeline, but they don't like the fact that the team has been registered under the name Force India for 2018. So
Force India don't like the fact that the team's been registered under the name Force India for 2018.
So I saw a tweet earlier which put it beautifully, a bit late to their own party.
Oh, and if anyone from Force India is listening, answer the bloody emails.
And the phone.
Well, no, doesn't matter about the phone, just answer the emails.
No, answer the phone, because that's polite.
Well, yes, true.
Answer the phone with good afternoon or good morning or good evening.
This is Force
And
India.
if I don't see you later, good night.
Yeah.
No,
Force India, my name speaking.
I'm
How
sorry.
may I help you?
I'm sorry Mr. Mallier isn't available at the moment.
No, I'm just trying to get a new password so we can actually use some of their photos, their official photos, because they still haven't sent the password yet. And they're the only team who we don't have access to now. Because they've changed everything. And they haven't sent us a new password. So if anyone from Force India is listening, can you have a word with your marketing or media team, please? Thank you. Anyway, rant over.
Yes.
But they do have a new development driver.
Yes, they do. It's somebody who has been around Formula One for a little while.
Mainly wearing yellow.
In the Renault garage.
Someone who Renault think deserves a world-class drive.
No.
Oh.
Not that.
Not that one.
No.
No.
But yes.
I'm sure they do think he
But
deserves
yes, they
a
think he
world-class
deserves a
drive.
world-class drive, so they sent him to Force India to become test and reserve driver. It is, of course, Nicholas Latifi.
To which Sean's reaction was, have Renault got anyone left?
Ollie Rowland?
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Because at one point they had 3 potential test drivers.
They had
lined up.
Latifi, they had Sirotkin, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Kubica was always
theirs?
there or thereabouts. Ollie Rowland is kind of on the fringes of their young driver program or driver program.
Let's face it, Project Kubica has failed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't write it off completely, but
We're expecting an announcement.
I don't think he'll be in Williams next year. But don't assume just because he's not there that he's not coming back at all.
Where he's got nowhere to go next year, though, has he?
No, it's this year now.
Oh God, motherfucker!
Yeah.
He's got nowhere to be this season, has he?
No.
No.
Right.
It looks like Williams are preparing to announce Sergei Sirotkin as their second driver, alongside Lance Stroll, which we'll see. We'll have to see how that goes. But
I think
And my prediction is that they will announce it, and it will be on Tuesday, the bloody 16th.
Probably. But
it's the right driver, but the wrong situation for that team.
I know what you mean.
You'd want Sorokin to be the second driver to Massa.
Yeah, it's. Saying that, I suppose it doesn't fucking matter if he blows the doors off Stroll, does it?
Matters to Stroll. And
Oh, it
and
matters.
all the financing
Matters to Stroll massively.
and it'll matter to Williams if they pull their financing because they don't like the fact that the Russian guys come in and is a lot better.
I don't believe that Williams would put themselves in a position where they're forced to cripple a driver because of sponsorship from the other driver.
Yeah, everyone's been making out that Williams is Team Stroll now, and I don't believe it is. They have a say because they've got a lot of money, but
They don't have
not
the
complete
say.
control.
Yeah.
Well, this is a fact. Williams F1 will still be in Formula 1 when Stroll isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a hypothetical situation for you here.
Stroll F1.
No, it's actually nothing to do with Williams.
I was going to say, is this going to be similar to the tweet that we got from Actress24?
Oh, go on.
Saying, are Williams looking to make a bit of cash in 2018 with 2 junior pay drivers, while they develop a Paddy Lowe-designed car ready for 2019 when the driver market opens up?
Well,
No, because you want to be close to winning races to get drivers who can definitely win races.
No one really believes in the Winter World Champions, do they? You know, where you go from nothing to a World Championship in 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
it's
what you mean. Yeah, you've got to have shown promise before you become world champion. Usually,
Yeah.
I think it was Ron Dennis that said the Winter Series means nothing.
Yeah. The hypothetical situation I've got for you is Renault have only got Ollie Rowland as their substitute possible reserve driver. I don't think they've confirmed him though, have they, as a third driver?
No, I think they just he's part of the young driver program, but he's not actually confirmed as their Friday guy.
All right, okay, so there's a spat at Red Bull, and one of the drivers decides that they're not going to race for the rest of the year, and they're going to go to a different team when the driver market opens up in 2019. Either Verstappen or Ricciardo. You know, don't say it's not going to happen, because it happened with Alain Prost. Alain Prost was fired from Ferrari for saying the car was shit.
In fairness, it was.
It was pretty shit. Yeah. Well, the Mansell drove it all right, but the.
If you want to know if you can get sacked from a Formula 1 team, ask Danny Kvyat.
Absolutely. So Red Bull recalled Carlos Sainz from Renault, which they're completely entitled to do because Sainz is only on loan at Renault. So who do Renault then put in their seat? Do they recall Nicholas Latifi from Force India?
I don't think they own Latifi anymore. I think he is completely gone.
He's completely gone, so they can't recall him. They can't use Kubica. Well, they might be able to. Di Resta, is he a possibility? Probably not.
What's he going to be doing next season?
Exactly, he's probably going to stick with Mercedes. Even as a.
I think he's been linked with Formula E, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Mercedes are opening up a Formula E team, aren't they, for 2019?
Well, Mercedes do like sticking Di Resta in cars for them, don't they? Just not the Formula 1 car.
No, well, that's the thing. So who would Renault actually get in? They would call Jolyon Palmer back. Jolyon, we're really sorry.
You know that world-class drive that we said you should get? Would you like it?
Do you want it back?
This time we'll give you 10 million. Turkish lira.
Yeah, so it's a dangerous game for Renault to play, to allow all of their young drivers, bar one, to just
bugger off.
Yeah, bugger off. Yeah, because like you just said, they've got. And the benefit is going to be with the other teams, like Williams, for example, who've got like Sorokin and sort of Kubica still. He's not a part of the team, but he's in and around what's been going on at Williams.
I think this is where...
I wouldn't be surprised if Kubica was an official
ambassador.
Maybe an official ambassador for Williams for the next year or so.
Well, that motherfucking can wave with the best of them.
And if there is, a problem with one of the drivers, say, one of them's performing really poorly, or like Dan was saying before, one of them, Sorokin perhaps, comes into Formula 1 and his luck is just terrible, and he really doesn't look like the real deal.
Tellingly, I'm just on the Renault F1 website at the moment, and Sorokin is still listed as part of the team.
Part of which team?
the Renault F1 team.
Yeah, well, it's not. That's not going to change until there is an actual deal done.
By the time you were listening to this podcast, it may well have been done.
Yeah.
Formula One likes to give news on Tuesdays,
Which is why I'm saying next Tuesday.
Yes.
I do find it
just a question. How long does Williams' engine deal with Mercedes last?
Aren't they to the end of 2019, I think?
I think you're right.
Possibly, yes. So we're not
So
going to
that's
see a
the-
Williams Renault.
That's this year and next year.
Yeah. Oh, I see where you're heading.
There's a lot of Renault team members, or headed Williams' way, aren't there?
Yeah.
Honda will be looking for a new team by then.
If they're not Aston Martin, Red Bull, Honda. By that point.
Audi, Aston Martin, Red Bull, Honda.
Powered by Ford.
Powered by confusion.
Powered by the world.
No. Honda tried that before. Remember the New Earth Dream car?
Oh, yeah, Earth Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a shame it was not Earth Reality, really, wasn't it?
I think it might be like a future forecast of Earth reality.
No, it'll be interesting to see if something like that comes up and what Renault do and who they announce as number 3 driver.
Yeah, I think they've got an advantage over Williams, haven't they? As far as if they ever have a driver problem, is they've got Nick Heidfeld. You know, they have that like reliable driver in there that they can trust. That isn't Stroll. So they can stick a young driver in with Nick Heidfeld.
Hulkenberg, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, with Hulk. Yeah,
Not Nick Heidfeld.
sorry.
I'll say, where are you picking Nick Heidfeld up from?
Yeah, because it's totally fucking unknown to confuse them pair, isn't it?
Nico Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's a...
Yeah, that one that gets all those first...
Yeah.
Hulkenberg's a safe pair of hands. You know he's going to score points when the car allows him to.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest,
Sainz is a good choice as well.
But he led the way from Sainz there towards the end of the season.
Yeah, Sainz is still getting his feet under the table in that team now.
Yeah, but I think I've got a funny feeling that whereas we were kind of expecting Sainz to blow the doors off Hulkenberg, I think what you might find is that by Hulkenberg having an actual proper teammate, it's going to draw the best out of Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
Which maybe Sainz can't quite answer at the minute.
Probably.
Going to be interesting come March, definitely. Right, where are we next? Oh God, that's it. That.
Yay, news!
that's the news. Try some total shunt.
We can try. It seems very early for a total shunt.
That's because of bugger all to say.
It's fucking off season, isn't it?
We still got quite a bit to come in the mailbag.
Get the guitar then.
Oh yeah, hang on a second.
Yeah, we're all sat here on microphones wearing headphones, and you have to take the headphones off to play guitar. That's kind of the opposite way to how you do it normally.
Helps if you put your finger on the right string. Total shunt. Total shunt. No Formula One, but we still got total shunt. Look out, everybody. Guess who it is? Lee's got some clues. We'll try and work it out. Look out. Here comes a total shunt.
That was very subdued.
It's because there's not much to talk about. Should I do it again? Make it longer?
No, it's all right. It's all right. We're not padding that desperately. Who's this week's from?
This one is from Ed Forsyth.
This would be better if you said it into the microphone.
Well, I've only just realised that
Ed Force One.
He didn't.
Edsteban.
Edsteban Forsyth Thierras.
Due diligence doesn't seem to be one of his strong points.
Oh, yours by the looks of things. You're editing it on the fly.
Shall I do the theme tune again?
Well, I was doing this to fucking help you guys, but fuck it.
Oh look, Lee's being Lee again.
Oh, who would have guessed?
Right, fine. I can't help you. Fuck yous. He was probably born in the 1940s. That's what I was trying to find out for you, whether it was a probably or not. But because you're a twat, we now don't know.
Right, that's narrowed it down.
Probably born in the 1940s, which would
Maybe the 1930s, maybe the 1950s.
could be the
Who
20s.
knows?
Quantum,
Jazz age. Nice.
quantum birth.
I entered 9 races in total.
We entered 9 races.
I don't know if that was in a sexy way or in a racy way.
So probably in the 60s.
If it was a sexy way.
60s or 70s. They were pretty swinging as well, weren't they?
Good lord. My race number.
Debbie does Delara.
We're getting on to Lola Ferrari again, aren't we?
Do you know somebody sent me a Photoshop picture of Loli Ferrari with my face on it?
What? I saw that. I saw that tweet, and I nearly saw my breakfast again.
Loli Ferrari.
Oh dear.
Strangest wank I've ever had.
Thank you for that, Jack Fielder.
Why is it the only time he gets close to his microphone is when he says something like that?
My race number was 91, and I raced, possibly with the coolest naming car ever, the Hudson Hornet.
Raced the Hudson Hornet. Number 91.
I had no idea.
I want to guess.
Do you? That's nice.
Dick Dastardly.
Probably not a bad idea.
That has been one
That has
before.
been an answer, hasn't it, before?
Okay, so I think we're looking at somebody that obviously wasn't a full-time driver. Who would be possibly in their 70s now. It's going to be something incredibly British. I reckon it's going to be someone, sort of gentleman racer type who was rich, slick back hair and a moustache, pretty much like sort of Graham Hill style of
So Dick
style,
Dastardly.
style of person. I
Yes.
think I think we'll just go
I've just had a look at some of the other hints going down here, and you guys are in for a fucking ride.
Right. We want from Ed Forsyth.
nine times in a Hudson Hornet.
Well, I'm going to give you a question for hint 4 now. Hint 5 might be the finest hint in the world, closely followed by hint 12, which I think will be the Spaffle one.
So with it being Ed Forsyth, it all hinges on 11 then.
Yeah, it does.
My best finish was at the Hickory. My best finish was a win at Hickory in 1953.
Dan's thinking.
I don't believe he was born in the 40s.
Ooh,
Not if he won in 1953.
so do I.
Could have been born earlier than that, though.
But maybe born in the 30s.
Probably not the 50s.
This isn't going to help at all. I never drove a motor vehicle.
What the hell was a Hudson Hornet? Was it a plane?
I'd have considered a plane a motor vehicle. There's a motor in it.
Dunno.
It's a vehicle.
Yeah, but you fly it, you don't drive it.
Still got a motor in it. I didn't call it a driver-mobile.
Hudson, I don't know, Hudson Hornet.
That's not a really bad film with Bruce Willis.
That was Hudson Hawk.
Oh, close. It's not Bruce Willis, is it?
I had to get a seat, suit and a helmet specially made for me due to my unique physical characteristics. I might be Robert Kubica.
Did you add that bit at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so, yes, possibly was born in the 40s. I think it's some kind of toy or mascot or something. Possibly cartoon character.
Won something.
Won a race at Hickory. Dickory Dock.
The mouse run up me, whatever.
Sock.
A Hudson Hornet with a win at Hickory. There's a lot of H's going on there.
Is it Hulk Hogan?
Triple H?
Oh, we haven't fully engaged our brains out of party mode yet, have
No.
we, from Christmas. Anyway, next.
My career earnings totaled $3,945. £36,000 in today's money. Or $1,000, I should say. in today's
Dollars.
money.
$3,000, did you say?
3,945.
Out of 9 races. Did you say you competed in 9 races?
Entered.
Hence my sexy joke.
Dan's got his thinking cap on. I can see the cogs working.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, that's just the headphones.
Oh, fair enough. I'm stumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to guess as well. I should have asked after the
Oh,
last
right.
question. But to be fair, I think if we play a bit fast and loose with this one, it doesn't really matter.
Pocahontas.
Whatever you say, Donald.
Yeah, I think next clue.
Right, so we're locking in Pocahontas as a guess then, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, anyone got anything better? No.
I had a Makel Hakedown? No. I had a mental breakdown during my last race, but still went on to finish third.
Got it.
Is he Herbie? Is that what you're thinking?
No, Herbie was a Volkswagen Beetle.
Elvis.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
I'm sure he drove a motor vehicle.
In one of his films.
In one of his films.
Okay.
When he was a detective on the hot rod circuit or something.
Well, then I'm going to stress, if this is the thing, because I don't know, because I can't see the thing, I want the character name.
Oh,
Because
God.
Elvis Presley drove a car. Thank you, Dan, for
Yes.
clearing this up.
No, he got people to do it for him.
No,
It was sat in the back eating cheeseburgers.
the answer should be whatever Ed has given you.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what the answer is, and his answer is...
Right. Okay. Well, let's pretend here that I'm trying to help you the fuck out and say, well, the answer I've got down here isn't Elvis Presley.
Well, maybe it is.
No, it's actually not.
So
He always had daft names in his films, so it's going to be like something like Chunk Driverston.
But to be fair, I've never seen an Elvis film, so whoever this guy is could possibly be the character. I
So,
don't know.
what Elvis films can we name?
Didn't he always play himself?
Jailhouse Rock, Blue Hawaii.
There was one where he was a driver. I'm sure there was one where he was a race driver. Which is why I'm saying it's called something like Chunk Driverston.
I'm sure he's been everything. I think what would be harder
Chuck.
to find.
I think with Chuck Driverston would probably be more...
I think what would be
Apt.
harder to find is if you found the film where he was actually a happy person in it.
Can we have the next clue?
Oh, good God! Of course you can. This is question 10 now. So this is
Already?
Yeah. I have read. I am. I haven't even got my glasses on here. I'm going to have to duck under the microphone.
How's that super duper iMac display? Or your MacBook display?
It's over there. I don't know. Sorry, it's just the fact that the England doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I have reference to two in 3 cars. 2 is in the word 2.
I have reference.
Fuck that question off. This would have been 11. He's giving you 2 spaffer questions. I was Tim Flock's co-driver. No?
I know that name. I know that name from something. I do know that name, and I'm pretty. Yeah.
Bet he was a lucky man, Tim Flock. Bet the women just gathered to him.
Is that that the is he English Timo Glock?
I like the idea of British Timo Glock. What happens is they have to be on opposite sides of the world at all times, and they walk in the same footsteps, and they keep each other on the ball.
I was thinking Tim Flock sounds like he could be in a detective series which would be called Flock of Seagulls for an obvious reason.
Featuring a band with terrible hair.
Well, yeah.
And he didn't drive. He ran. So far away.
Your last hint.
Yes.
Go on.
I am a monkey.
Oh, you're Clyde from
From Any Which Way You Can.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh.
You look like him.
I am Jocko Flocko.
From...
Right.
Okay, yeah, Google anyone?
Yep.
Story Jocko Flocko, Tim Flock. Oh, it's a short story about a monkey race driver, about a man. Oh my word, this is old. Check this out. Look. Sorry, people.
Right, so we're looking now at a picture.
Oh my fucking
It was
god! It's a
real.
real monkey.
It was a monkey that took part in NASCAR.
Well, there you go.
Don't they just call them drivers?
Yeah, hang on. Tim Flock had a rhesus monkey co-driver named Jocko Flocko with him in his May 16, 1953 Grand National win at Hickory Motor Speedway. Jocko Flocko became the only winning monkey ever. The monkey was retired 2 weeks later at Raleigh, where the monkey pulled the device to allow the driver to observe the right front tyre and was hit by a pebble.
Considering when this happened, I'm a bit worried about the use of the word monkey, and I think we might be getting involved in hate speech.
It was
We are not getting involved in hate speech.
It was an actual rhesus macaque.
Right? Okay.
It was a thing that sits in a tree and eats bananas.
It was a.
I think rhesus macaques eat nuts as well.
It was an outbreak monkey.
No, that was a capuchin monkey, because the monkey in Outbreak was Marcel from Friends.
Oh, was it really?
Because for the first 8 or 9 years of Friends, he was the most successful member of the cast in movie revenue.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you might have had the
amazing.
longest CV as well.
Yeah. Yeah, when you add up all his box office, it was until Friends had been going about 9 years. He had the most cinema box office takings of any of the cast of Friends.
Well, as my homies would say, that's cray, yo.
Every day is a school day, and today we have learnt something.
And Ed
Good question, Ed.
Ed has completely schooled us.
Completely.
Yeah.
We had to Google that.
That
Thanks,
was
Ed.
that was an emotional roller coaster. That because it went from like weird to oh my god, this is shit.
To I'm giving up.
Who the fuck is this? This makes me really sad. And now it's all joy because a fucking monkey won a NASCAR race.
There was a human co-driver with him.
No, but all that total shunt done is reinforced my views on that fucking shambles of a series.
You could strap a monkey in a car and it'd turn left.
Hey man, animals went to space before humans.
This is true.
Yeah, monkeys.
Yes. Maybe it was Jocko Flocko. We just didn't know.
No, Jocko Flocko would never take that risk.
Haven't you ever seen Space Chimps?
No.
You probably don't want to.
Good. Moving on.
Moving on. Put something up on Facebook and Twitter earlier. Give us things to talk about, because obviously with it not being the actual F1 season and not having a great deal of news, we were short of things. So we have had a few
responses.
A few responses. Some of them are repeatable. Some of them I'm convinced will Lee under an assumed name.
I wouldn't even assume my name is Lee.
So, what should we talk about? Someone, I've lost it now.
What do you mean
Peter
lost it now? Lost it a long time
Hammerstrom
ago.
suggested Marcus Ericsson. I'm getting a Scandinavian vibe here. Let's talk about Marcus Ericsson.
I'm looking.
What's he done lately?
Sorry, but Peter Hammerstrom sounds like a 1940s wrestler.
Yeah, he does. I'm looking forward to seeing what Marcus Ericsson does in 2018 with the Alfa Romeo Sauber, especially alongside Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
Let's judge him in a current car with
Another new driver.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about all we can. That's about all we can say about him at the moment. Okay, Jennifer Muller. We know Lewis says every race, you, insert country here, are the best fans. But which country do you think has the best fans?
At the moment, the Dutch, where there is no race.
Yeah.
Because they travel ridiculous ridiculous lengths to go see Max Verstappen race.
Mm-hmm.
They all make sure somehow that they're congregated together and all wearing orange. It literally is an army of people who go to support Max
that
Verstappen.
might be something that helps it out, actually, the fact that they're all wearing orange.
Yeah, but even without Formula One, the Dutch are great fans. I've done New York Marathon a couple of times, and there's always a wall of orange supporters there.
Yeah.
I only spent
cheering on anyone with a Dutch flag.
I only spent 5 hours, I think, in Dutchland, and they were just really nice people.
Dan, like me, you watch quite a lot of cycling.
Yeah.
The Dutch crowd in the Alps, in
Yep.
Tour de France.
Yeah, the Dutch.
They just go absolutely mental.
Dutch football fans I got stuck with in Manchester only in November.
The loudest, politest fans ever.
Yeah, loudest. And I thought they were singing in English. Turns out they weren't. There was some... I can't quite distinguish what they're saying there. Turns out it was because they were singing in Dutch. It's very similar to English when you're listening to it, but it doesn't. It sounds like somebody's talking in a busy bar and you can't quite understand what they're saying.
It's when they double it gets really confusing.
Yeah, double Dutches, yeah.
The dad jokes are strong in this one.
So I would go with that would be my nomination for the best fans. But the best fans, where there's a race held, that could be a
Tifosi, I would have thought, at Monza.
the Tifosi at Monza.
No, because
They were silenced a bit, though, weren't they?
The Tifosi at Monza when Ferrari are on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. So that makes them terrible fans. Same way as Schumacher fans were terrible fans because they would leave if he wasn't winning.
Or retired.
Yeah. And to be fair as well, Schumacher fans, as soon as he came back in a Mercedes, he wasn't doing so well. They dropped him like a wet turd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we love Vettel now.
So we can take from this that the German fans are the biggest glory hunters.
I don't know about that because
I don't, because I think lots of the German fans like the other German drivers.
Yeah, because up until Michael Schumacher, there was not really a German success story in Formula One. For many years before that, really.
Also, Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari was the Man United of Formula One. Whereas if you didn't really support anyone and you didn't really like Formula One and you lived in a foreign country, you were a Michael Schumacher Ferrari fan by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all too easy for us to say the British fans, isn't it? The one that they camp out like a week before.
It's best fans in the world, TT fans. They spend 2 weeks pissed wet through in a field, and they love it and
to
come
watch
back
a bike
every
go past.
year. Yeah,
That's a good shout as well for where an actual event.
Yeah, I'd say
Although we are horrible people because we all walk past them every day during TT going, we're going to be dry tonight. You're not.
Yeah, well, that's if you haven't got a spare room.
Yeah.
yeah,
We have got spare room, but we've got a massive damp problem, so anyone that stays in our spare room gets soaked.
I get the same buzz out of taking the piss out of wet TT people as I do ordering too much takeaway on Comic Relief night. Carry on.
you're a bad man, Lee.
Harking back to last week's Patreon, you are so bad you could be in Friends.
Sorry, Dan was going to say something. But...
Yeah, the moment's passed.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
We've
had to unleash Jacques Villeneuve on you twice. And if we haven't, well, then you're lucky.
Sometimes I actually don't know what's worse. Jeff Leopold says, a little behind-the-scenes type question. I've always wondered why, with drivers from multiple nations and languages, why are the official interviews all in English? The FIA is a French organisation. and only 4 out of the 20 or 21 races are in predominantly English-speaking countries. Montreal could be considered sort of French-Canadian. It's probably because the English are too lazy to learn any other languages, so that everyone has to learn English just to shut the Brits up.
Fucking work though, didn't it? We made everybody else learn our language.
Is it something to do with media as well? They don't want to do more than one press conference, so they do it in English because most media,
I don't know, because
most international media would be speaking English.
Yeah,
hang on,
but drivers like Vettel will speak Italian and. Rosberg as well spoke several languages, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
and Alonso speaks many languages.
We'll do interviews in a whole bunch of languages, but yeah, English
but for
is
the
used
official
as
press
the
conferences, they only use English.
But is it? Could this not still be just like? Are we not thinking this in too much modern terms as far as English?
Because this has always gone on. So I did check with our resident F1 historian.
No, but are we not
virtual statman?
Are we not forgetting the fact that maybe it might be something to do with the fact that for a fucking while there, the Empire was fucking balling hard.
In the 19th century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the fucking DNA of languages were getting baffed around.
It's. I mean, I did have a chat with Sean Kelly about this.
Yeah.
See if he had any other information, and we both came to the conclusion between us that English is the international business language.
Which is
and
fair enough.
it's kind of the international transport language as well, because all pilots and air traffic controllers speak to each other in English, regardless of what country they're in.
And I'm going to say that's because of the Empire.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Let's see, what else did we get? Dave Roebuck, what's the Concorde Agreement? Why is it such a big deal?
It's when all the Formula One teams at one point decided to use the same type of aircraft to ship themselves around.
No, it's called the Concorde Agreement because it was...
It's got a big nose.
Yeah. Alain Prost. No, it's called the Concorde Agreement because it was, I believe it was agreed at the Place de la Concorde.
Yes.
In Paris.
Yes.
And
it was basically
an agreed set of rules for a certain amount of years.
So like the Queensberry rules in boxing.
Almost.
pretty much. It was all to do with the fact that teams weren't turning up to the flyaway races. So the promoters couldn't actually advertise everyone taking part in the World Championship was going to be in a particular Grand Prix in their country if it was somewhere like South Africa.
Yeah.
Or the US, which I think back then they were the two furthest races, and the South American ones as well, obviously.
Yeah, and the privateer teams wouldn't turn up to these races because it was too expensive.
They just couldn't afford. So all the teams had to sign an agreement to say that they would be at all races in return for concessions from, unsurprisingly, a certain Mr. Eccleston.
For travel.
For travel,
Yeah.
and a share of the prize money. Which ties in with what we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the details of the agreement have been secret since it was signed the first time and renewed every 5 years or so. But basically, it's you turn up, you will get some form of cash as long as you finish in the top 10 at the end of the season.
But what's going to be interesting, the reason we discuss it so often on the podcast is that Concorde Agreement has always been... concrete as well. It's always been in place. It's always been there, and it's always been Bernie Eccleston turning around and being like, "It's fine, guys. I've got this. All we're going to do, we'll just amend that a little bit, but you get that in return."
Was it like 2008 the last Concorde Agreement? Oh, 98.
No, there's been one in the last few years.
Has there? I couldn't remember because I remember in 1997 there being a big thing about the Concorde Agreement.
There was a big one signed. I think
Coming up.
I think the Concorde Agreement, as we know it now, was 97, 98.
Right.
No. 2013.
Was that? Yeah, that was the last one.
The first, it was 81, 87, 92, 97, 98, 2009, and 2013. Every time there's a threat of a breakaway series, they always renegotiate it.
And the point that I was going to make has completely slipped my mind.
Sorry.
It's all right.
So does that mean that Ferrari, by rumour in the breakaway series now, are just essentially initiating the Ferrari shuffle?
No, it's a cabinet reshuffle at Ferrari. No, it's
in case of Concorde Agreement break glass.
It's going to be the first Concorde Agreement to be signed with Liberty Media, not Liberty Media, but the
new owners.
Yeah, Chase Carey, Sean Bratches, and all that crew. And we
enter the Chevy Treaty.
Exactly. We don't know how forgiving or unforgiving they might be when it comes to their direction, their view of the direction of Formula One is going in, which is why we discuss it so often on the podcast, because there's a huge cloud of uncertainty around the next signing of it.
Well, what I like the fact that when you look at sort of social media and internet posts and stuff like that, 99% of people are like, yeah, well, fuck Ferrari. And I think this will be the first time that something like this has come up where that voice is so visible. So this whole thing of, oh, well, Formula One couldn't survive without Ferrari, is clearly bullshit.
I think it would survive without Ferrari, but it's what would Ferrari do without Formula One?
I think this is the first time that it might seriously be tested.
Go off and make the Orville. Oh, hang on, sorry, that's Seth MacFarlane, isn't it? Well, they wouldn't let him do Star Trek, so he made his own with knob gags.
I know, it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
There seems to be less knob gags as well. You keep saying knob gags. I haven't really...
No, the first two episodes were full of knob gags, and the longer it goes on, the more sci-fi and the less knob gags creep into
I think it's really fucking
So
good.
pulling the fader back.
But,
Carry
carry on.
knob gag in there.
Carry on.
Yeah, Ferrari would probably go off and start their own series.
But there already is a Ferrari-owned series.
Yeah.
The Ferrari Challenge Cup, whatever it's called. It's rubbish. I've watched it. It's pants.
But would then Ferrari make Formula One equivalent chassis and run...
And what, they'd all run Ferraris?
Yeah.
No, who's going to
Yeah.
watch that?
The idea of...
The Tifosi, because they're guaranteed a Ferrari winner.
Yay.
12 races at Monza, one a month.
Yeah. So, I mean, so you basically... You're going to try and make a world-class motor series to cater to basically, like, a majority...
Morons?
A majority of a country. It's not going to work.
All right, okay, look at what happened in Grand Prix. The Singapore Grand Prix was the first race where both Ferraris didn't make the end of the first lap in, was it the history of Formula One?
Yeah.
Or the second time?
It was the second time in the history of Formula One.
Okay. How good was the Singapore Grand Prix after the Ferraris were out?
Oh, it was grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ignore the fact that they crashed out in the first lap, maybe you think about Verstappen being taken out in the first lap. Then after that, it was still a race. Just because the Ferraris weren't there doesn't mean it wasn't a race.
Yeah.
You'd still have a championship if the Ferraris weren't there. It would. I don't want to see them go, but if they decide they're going, then I don't see why there has to be this throw your arms around Ferrari and make sure they don't go anywhere sort of thing. Well, why?
Yeah, I think we've said it before in the podcast that Ferrari sell a lifestyle. They're almost like Apple in that respect, aren't they? Rather than
You stroked your MacBook worryingly when you said that.
But they're not. They need an advertising platform, Ferrari, to sell the T-shirts and to sell the key rings and to sell the dream of owning a Ferrari, essentially. And I think Formula One's a good platform to do that on. I don't think there's any...
An already established global platform.
But this is the thing. What are they going to do? Go to WEC? Well, they're already in WCT, EC, and LMP2, and that whole series appears to be falling apart.
I think they have other platforms as well now, which they maybe didn't have in the 50s.
With that global reach, though?
Yes.
And that importance.
Hollywood, music videos.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, you could. Yeah. Bentley seems to get on well enough, don't they, without...
Stick a wrapper in the car and there's a free advert.
I can't remember what I was going to say. It's gone. But I just don't think it matters with whether they're there or not. I think the sport will go on. That's what I was going to say. Look at all the forms of motorsport. Try and name me another series where you've basically got two identical types of series with two premium classes.
In the late 90s, motorcycle racing, where you had World Superbike and GP500.
Yeah.
But now, let's look at that. Now we have MotoGP.
And no one cares about World Superbike.
Yeah, it can't happen. You can't have two premier classes. Thank you, Dan. You steered me right into my point.
You wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but you can for a little while because MotoGP had lost its way.
Yeah, no, you can
Before
for
the
a little
rebrand.
while. But
Yeah, Grand Prix motorcycle racing had lost its way.
Yeah.
But that involves Formula One losing its way, and I don't I don't think that looks like it's going to happen. Not in the same way as MotoGP lost its way. And what you'd have to have is Ferrari starting a series to compete with Formula One.
I think we've discussed in the past, Formula One doesn't really know what it wants to be, and Formula One fans don't really know what they want it to be.
No.
Or what different Formula One fans want is different.
Exactly. There's no singular voice, is there? I mean, and it's Ross Brawn's job at the moment to try and come to some sort of compromise. He's got to somehow fit in with the vision of what the owners want to do, and also what he thinks is going to make the best racing, as well as keeping the fans entertained and keeping eyes on the sport.
I don't think something similar to GP 500 and World Superbikes is impossible in car racing.
I think it would take an exceptionally bad decade of Formula One for another series to all of a sudden be looked at as the sport. And if it's not the sport, it just turns into Formula E, where
or Formula Ferrari. No one's going to watch Formula Ferrari.
No. So what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with the series that Formula One drivers go to, or you're going to end up with a feeder series to get to Formula One.
Yeah.
People, motor racing drivers, and people who aspire to be motor racing drivers, as children or whenever, want to drive a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Not against other Ferraris. They want to drive that Ferrari
in
and they want
Formula One.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to in my eyes. But if Ferrari decide that that's not for them and they want to leave, fine, let them go.
To be perfectly honest, whoever came up with the name Formula One, from Grand Prix racing, is a fucking genius. It's a formula. Which formula? One.
Yeah,
right.
It's the top one.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter from that point where you are in the public perception.
Yeah.
That's Formula One. There's no better than that.
Yeah.
Unless you do Formula Zero and work it that way.
But it's kind of like what Formula E is, isn't it? Formula Zero emissions.
Zero viewers.
Are we all looking forward to Marrakesh this week? I thought not. Dan is.
I did.
I've not watched the first race yet, so need to get round to that before Marrakesh.
I did vote for Sam Bird to get the fan boost. I always vote for Sam Bird to get the fan boost because he seems like a really nice person.
Just want to say, just going back to the subject of Ferrari, Chris Rowden, I hope you're happy because you asked us to discuss that and we weren't planning on, but it kind of morphed into it.
That sounded like you were almost being aggressive with him there. I hope you're fucking happy with yourself.
Look what you made us do.
But just to finish on that point, I think Ferrari will put an entry into Formula E eventually.
I think you're right, yeah.
And I think it'll probably be under the guise of Maserati.
I think
they will put a brand in to test the water, and then
it will be Fiat Chrysler, because Fiat Chrysler technically don't own Ferrari, but sort of do at the same time.
I think there's more chance of it just being a Fiat team.
Possibly.
Because Fiat are going to be the ones that are making the road go on electric cars.
Well, they've relaunched the Spider,
which
looks quite nice.
Yeah, I saw one in town today.
So,
what, a Fiat Spider?
Fiat 124 Spider, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one over it.
Yeah.
So it
only available.
Wouldn't be a huge leap for them to make an electric version of that, would it?
No. It's only available in 3 colours, by the way. White, blue and red, that's it.
My fucking ghast is pretty flabbered at the fact that Tesla aren't involved in it somewhere.
Elon Musk didn't think of it.
This is true.
So he will come up with his own at a tenth of the cost.
Yes, after what I was saying earlier.
Yeah. And get a tenth of the viewers.
Probably.
10 viewers. Got one for Lee here from Dale Eastham, who I believe is one of the 40 people that lives in New Zealand.
No, you can't have a picture of my penis.
Will Brendan Hartley lose his driving prowess
Hang
if
on.
he changes his hair game?
Maybe.
Well, his driving wasn't brilliant when he had emo hair.
Dale says it's a common trait to all Kiwis, or so the legend goes.
I'm going to say it's... Until he does a full season in Formula One, his hair game is unproven.
Yeah, his emo hair was not good hair game.
But it's got body, and I think that's the main thing with a hair game. If you've got body to it, then you can kind of do anything you want with it.
Yeah.
You can have it thinned out and have it short, or you can have it all wavy. He looks like he should be rocking a surf guy hair game in my eyes.
Yeah.
So it is one of the hair game prospects of 2018.
Toro Rosso keeping their hand in the strong hair game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, has to be. Just want to thank Mike McPherson as well for the photo that he sent of his whiskey collection. He's on 18-year-old Highland Park at the minute. Nice choice.
That is
Nice.
a good choice.
Also want to thank Jeff Sharp for the bottle of 12-year-old Highland Park he sent me for all the IT help that I've been giving him.
Yes.
You do like a good 12-year-old.
Highland Park.
Other whiskies are available.
Yes.
Other Jacques Villeneuve tunes are available.
Is that
Yeah.
3 or 4 are we in now?
Yeah, but that's the only one I've actually bought from iTunes, so that's why I keep using it.
Someone's got to fucking fill this podcast, and I'm going to try.
So Jacques Villeneuve, apparently.
Thanks to everyone that's got in touch with us. If you want to get in touch as well, then I will say this now because it's kind of a good idea to do it after the mailbag.
Who wanted to know how to watch Formula One and have children?
Oh yes, I forgot that question.
Somebody wanted. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just go back and see who that was. That was on the Facebook inbox, wasn't it?
Well, when you have Sky Sports F1 and a daddy and a mummy love each other very, very much.
He wants to know how to. Somebody was asking how to juggle being a dad and watching Formula
That
One.
was Kieran Thompson.
Well, I've only done half a season of being a father and a Formula One fan, but my preparation.
Yeah, he's done many years of being a motherfucker.
But that's my girlfriend you're talking about.
I think I've just killed Dad.
Oops.
I have a plan for 2018 if it all gets too much for me, and that's to be a bad father. So that's the way you go. I mean, you're still a father, you're still there, but you don't have to be a particularly good one for most of the year.
Yeah, but it's only every other Sunday.
It's not every other Sunday, yeah.
That doesn't work if you're a weekend dad.
Yeah, it goes back.
Which, if he starts off by being a bad dad, he probably will be.
Yeah. Let's not joke about this. This could become reality.
What do you know?
But thanks to everyone that's got in touch. If you want to send us an email, you can get us on 3legs4wheels@gmail.com. You can tweet us at 3legs4wheels or
At Flood21.
At Danbert.
I think after today we can clearly see I'm at a total shunt.
and at Pablo100. You can get us as well on Facebook, facebook.com/3legs4wheels, and we're on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
We're hoping to put lots more on YouTube this year.
yes, hopefully.
Yes.
Also, come listen to my other podcast, Must See Audio.
Must remember name.
Yeah, where there's an episode that's been up for a week and a half, and we're going to record another episode on Friday. So, yeah,
All right.
go catch up.
On to Formula Lee. Third race of the Winter Series.
Yes.
I haven't entered again.
You've still got another week.
Have I got another
Yeah.
week?
Got another week. These are all
Nailed it.
these all run for a fortnight. Don't panic. Don't panic.
I don't know what's
Has
going on.
Dan put an entry in yet?
I have not.
No, I didn't. I was going to say, I don't think I saw Dan's name on there.
Yeah, I've not checked the PlayStation for a couple of days, so I might be a little bit out of date. But the best times so far are all on the website.
But
Yours is on there. You're beating me.
Am I?
Yes.
It's annoying because I did my best time in Spa on a different car, which you can't get anywhere near with the car that we're doing Formula Lee with.
Yes, because this one is Spa in the Williams FW14B in the dry.
Yes. So Mansell's 92 Williams.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Ferrari is about 8 seconds a lap faster. So everyone that's gone, oh yeah, great fast car around Spa, I'll give that a go. And we're now saying drive something slower, and
Yeah, and
you're not seeing yourself on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
At the moment, anything below 157 is good for the points. That will change. There is another week to go. This one runs until the 15th
Okay.
of January. And, of course, everyone that gets points goes into the draw at the end of the season for the Nico Rosberg replica helmet from CM Helmets.
Yes, absolutely. I want to thank those guys once again. The
Yes.
CM Helmets.
And the Amazon vouchers will resume.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying about the Amazon vouchers. They will resume.
Yeah.
We'll get that sorted out. We have got a little bit behind with the prizes, but
we will sort it out.
we will get that sorted. Thanks a lot for listening. If you want to listen to our other show, which we do every week for Patreon subscribers, you can donate as little as $1 a month to us. It keeps us ticking over.
With equipment and things, which, you know, when you're doing 1.5 podcasts a week, you need equipment.
Yes, microphones, cables, headphones. We've got the non-breakable headphones now.
Yes.
Just how long before they break?
When do the cats get in?
Good point.
But
This is now a cat-free zone, this room, because of the baby stuff that's
Because
in here.
lemons.
Because lemons.
it doesn't work.
I
They're
just
not.
realised I have a quick shout out to give out because I've been speaking to a guy on Twitter. I don't know his name because
Twitter
That'll
handle
make a
will do.
shout out difficult.
no, because the Twitter account I've been talking to him on is his podcast Twitter. So I was just I've been listening to a couple of episodes. It's really good. If you like retro gaming stuff like that, he calls it retro gaming. I call it my past. It's
Retro is the new.
yeah, it's called the Jump Cancel Podcast, and they're only short episodes. Pretty good.
And just a quick update. No word back from Nick Heidfeld on his Purple Bear collection.
Well,
yet.
I think that's pretty
That
much in
pretty
the
much
bag,
confirms
innit?
it.
Yeah.
if he's not denying it, then he's clearly got a stash of
Mm-hmm.
Purple Bears.
Pretty much. We will be back next week if we're allowed.
Just, you know what? It sounds like something somebody would say in the 90s, doesn't it? Fucking hell, mate, do you want some Purple Bears? They'll blow your fucking mind.
If you can remember the 90s like that, you weren't there. You read about it in a book. On that note, we will see you next week.
Your mind.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.